Hello everyone, welcome back to Chibi and Chill, the anime podcast, the podcast that talks all about all things anime, all things manga, anything that you're kind of thinking Japan related, it's about anime, it's about manga. I'm going to be talking about it on this podcast, so be sure to subscribe to make sure you don't miss an episode. So I'm your host Ryan, and I'm a massive anime and manga fan, and I have been for many years, since the 90s, since I was a kid, and that fad has never truly ended. So a few things before we dive into today's episode. I've got a bunch of new anime pin badges over on my eBay shop for you to check out. There's One Piece ones, there's Pokemon one, and there's some Jujutsu Kaisen ones, with more being added to the range soon. I'm not entirely sure when, I need to kind of prep them first, but they are coming soon. Be sure to check out the first 5 pins that are over, they're already live, they're already on the shop, go check them out. You won't want to miss out on them. They're great to add to hats, bags, like straps on stuff. Honestly, go check them out. I've kept some of them for myself to add to my bag because I just couldn't let them all go. I needed to keep some for myself. And also, if you're into Funko Pops, much like myself, and like me, are also kind of addicted to them, I've got a 10% off code for you for opticcollectibles.com. And it's Chibi Weeb. So if you enter the code Chibi Weeb on opticcollectibles.com, you'll save 10% off your order. Go check them out. They've got some exclusives, some chase what pops on there, and also some like mystery boxes where it's kind of like you could get a chase, you could get a normal, who knows, it's all part of the Funko collecting fun. Go to opticcollectibles.com for 10% off using the code Chibi Weeb. Spooky season is the best season, and it's full of all things cool. So it's full of ghosts, pumpkins, scary movies, ghost stories, all the things I love. I love all things spooky, and it's that time of year where the shops start to get all decorated with the little like skeletons and ghosts, pumpkins, that kind of stuff. All the spooky decorations come out, and the TV channels, all the channels start streaming like the spooky stories, the ghost hunt stuff, the murder mysteries. All the spooky themed content you could possibly think of gets streamed, and Crunchyroll is no different, or any other anime streaming service I guess, but they're filled with spooky themed anime for us to check out. And in this episode I'm going to share with you my anime recommendations for this spooky season, and this is a different list to what is generally out in October, but there is a full anime episode of the podcast that was a couple of weeks ago. If you check it out, it's where you found this episode, you'll find that one, and I go through all the anime that's coming out in October. But this episode is all about anime to get you in the spooky spirit, and there are some anime on here that is currently on my watch list to start to watch during the spooky season, and ones I've already started, but kind of saving, ready for like full October, full spookiness. So let's dive into anime number 1, and this one is an absolute must watch for the spooky season. So the first anime on this list is an absolute must-watch for this spooky season. I watched the first episode of this, and I decided to absolutely save this for full spooky season vibes because, wow, it's so good. So it's 12 episodes long, and the genre is horror, comedy, supernatural, and its name is Mirko-chan. So, and I quote, it's about high school student Miko Yotsuya, who has the unfortunate ability to see horrifying ghosts and spirits that haunt her and the people around her. Despite this, Miko does her best to ignore the existence of ghosts and tries to live out a normal high school life. This one has an awesome animation. It's so crisp, it's so clean. And the first episode starts out really creepy and then turns lighthearted, and then it kind of like, it goes through this cycle of creepy and not creepy constantly. The opening scenes, the opening music is super colourful, with the splashes being like red, green and yellow and stuff, a bit like Zone 100, which is really interesting. But the first episode is absolutely amazing. You have to watch this anime. A top recommendation for spooky season. The ghosts that she sees are so creepy, they're so cool. Honestly, I am struggling to not watch the second episode of this. Check out Mirko-chan. I hope I'm saying that right. Mirko-chan. It's on Crunchyroll. Definitely check it out. It's so good. The second anime on this list is called Ghost Hunter, and it's got 25 episodes, and its genre is mystery, horror, supernatural. So Ghost Hunter follows the story of Shibuya Kazuya. Yep. The president of Shibuya Psychic Research and Mai, a high school freshman. The story begins when Mai told ghost stories with her friends in the classroom who had been interrupted twice, first by a mysterious student and then a classmate who warns them that somehow their stories attract spirits. And while she was walking in the morning, the next day, she found herself in front of the building that was related to one of the ghost stories. She's intrigued and decides to go investigate. So this one is kind of it's got like an early 90s, 2000s anime vibe with the hair and the outfits. It was made in 2006 and ran till 2007, so it has that classic kind of anime style. And it's it's not a murder, it's like a mystery style story with like, I think it's kind of like each episode has a overlying mystery to it and one big mystery overall. So it's not a whole lot happens ghost-wise in the first episode, but I think you have to stick with it. I have not finished this anime, but I have started it. This is one that I think once I finish some of the other ones on this list, I'll be carrying on with this one, but still a really good supernatural mystery anime to start this spooky season. The next one on this list is one for all those horror anime fans that are hardcore. So this one is the Junji Ito collection, and if you know, you know. And it's episodes 15. It's got 15 episodes, but it's also got 2 OVAs as well. And the genres for this one are quite mixed because of the collection itself. So it's horror, drama, mystery, and supernatural. And this one is a horror anime anthology series adapted from the work of Junji Ito, adapting several of his stories, each of the iconic ones. Each episode starts a different character from his work, including the most famous ones such as Tomi, Soichi, and Fuchi. So each one has like its own episode, but Tomi has like 3. So this is much darker than the other ones on this list. It's a lot more hardcore horror. So definitely one to kind of work up to if you're not a massive horror fan. Maybe you're just kind of starting into it. I have not watched all of this collection. This is one that I think I would really like to watch all of during spooky season to kind of just say I've watched it all, if I'm honest. But definitely one to get into if you're into like a really scary one. So anime loves a high school vibe and a high school storyline, and Halloween is no different. So the Misfit of Demon King Academy has 2 seasons with 25 episodes over both of them, and the genre is kind of adventure and fantasy. So the plot of this anime is, and I quote, after 2,000 years of countless wars and strife, the Demon King Anos made a deal with the human hero Kanon to sacrifice his own life to ensure peace could flourish. Reincarnating 2,000 years later, Anos finds that royal demons now harshly rule over lower-class hybrid demons in a society that values Anos' pure-blood descendants over the demons who interbred with other species such as humans and spirits. Finding that magic as a whole has begun to decline and his descendants weaker as a result of the peace he created, Anos, now technically a hybrid himself, decides to reclaim his former title. However, he must first graduate from the Demon King Academy, where he is labelled a total misfit. So this one is kind of like one of those new generations of anime, and it's got that kind of look to it, so very intricate eyes, very intricate designs for the characters, but it is kind of cool to look at, and there are some awesome action scenes. Amos is very cool as a main character, but not very memorable to look at, but I think this one is the first episode kind of draws you in with a lot of characters, a lot of fights, a lot of like action, I guess. It's really, really interesting. I think this one will be one I kind of keep an eye on overall outside of spooky season as well. Definitely one to keep an eye on. I think this one is one of the ones that Megan Thee Stallion said she likes, so it's worth trying just for that. The next anime on the list I haven't actually started yet, and I struggled to find this one on Crunchyroll, so it may be on other servers. It's called Devilman Crybaby, and it's got 10 episodes, and the genre is action and dark fantasy. So this one is about, and I quote, Akira Fudo, who is informed by his best friend Ryo that the ancient race of demons is taking possession of the bodies of humans in order to possess them, has returned to Earth to take them back, believing that the only way to defeat the demon is to prove their existence to humans, and Ryo suggests that Akira accompany him to see demons take possession of humans. Merging himself with Amon, the Lord of Demons, Akira transforms into the Devilman, a human with the powers of a demon while retaining his own heart. This one is one on my watch list, kind of like a noted down watch list, but I struggle to find this one on any of the Crunchyroll like lists, but it must be somewhere, and this one has quite a high ranking when I've looked online, so definitely one to keep an eye out for if you do find it on any server. Spooky season is kind of filled with all those decorations and that classic kind of almost cute but not cute vibe, but scary cute kind of vibe to it. I love the spooky vibe, and the next anime on this list has that exact vibe to it. So it's called Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun, and it's got 3 seasons and it's got 65 episodes over those seasons, and it's a fantasy comedy show. And this show follows, and I quote, the story follows Iruma Suzuki, a 14-year-old human boy who is sold to a demon by his lazy, selfish, and neglectful parents. The demon, known as Sullivan, takes Iruma to the demon world and officially adopts him as his grandson. He enrolls Iruma in the Babbles School for Demons, where he is the headmaster and where Iruma quickly befriends the demon Alice Asmodeus and Clara Valak. However, Sullivan tells Iruma to never ever reveal that he is human, since he will be eaten if anyone finds out. Iruma then vows to blend in during this time in the demon world, although he only stands out because of the situations and adventures that arise. This one has such a good vibe to it. I absolutely loved this. This is one that I will just continue to watch in and out of spooky season. It's got the full Halloween vibe. It's one for if you want a fun, light-hearted comedy Halloween vibe anime that's not gory and it doesn't really get dark. Imagine all the traditional Halloween imagery like bats, creepy castle, more bats, cobwebs, etc., all in like bright colours of purple and swirls and black and green, all that kind of stuff. It's very fun and it's perfect watch for spooky season without having to go down the Junji Ito route. Not that there's anything bad with that, but if you don't kind of want to go that hardcore, sometimes you just want a fun Halloween vibe to have on in the background during your day. It is absolutely great. If I can recommend another one apart from the Mirko-chan one, definitely check this one out. It's so fun, and it's honestly, it's great. I can't recommend this one enough. If you're a fan of Toilet Bound Hanako-kan, this is definitely one that if you've not already checked this one out, you need to check this one out. So from light-hearted and fun to something a little bit more adult, I guess. So this one is called Hellsing Ultimate, and it's a retelling of the now classic Hellsing kind of storyline. So it's got 13 episodes, but it's got 10 OVAs, and yeah, it's quite long. But the genres are action, dark fantasy, and horror. And I quote the plot: the Royal Knights of Protestant Order are a noble house of London, led by Abraham van Helsing. For generations, he has been fighting against creatures that most ordinary people are unaware of, like vampires, ghouls, and any non-human entity that is generally referred to as a monster. The Order operates in great secrecy and has long been a paramilitary organisation in the service of Her Majesty. Leading the organisation is Sir Integra Fairbrook Wingates Helsing, what a name, a direct descendant of the First Lord Helsing. Still a teenager, she is forced to take control of the Order. Her father, sick and close to his death, orders his daughter, should she feel threatened, to go down to the basement of the mansion where there is something able to protect her. This one, at first opening, this one shocked me because it opens with the Universal title sequence, with the words over the globe, and I've never ever seen that on an anime before. So yeah, that was really strange, really interesting. But the style of the anime reminds me of Attack on Titan, especially towards the later end of Attack on Titan. It's got that same kind of look to it, but the anime joins a list of, I guess, all of the Hellsing adaptations that have happened in pop culture, and it's a remake of an earlier anime adaptations, and there's kind of mixed reviews on it. I've not seen the first one, so I've not seen the original adaptation, but this one was great. I have to say, I only watched the first episode because it's 50 minutes long, and checking the listings, all of them are around 50 minutes. So this one is more of a considered watch, I guess, if you're really wanting to watch all this. It all kind of works out the same. I guess One Piece is over 1,000 episodes, so hey ho. But more considered, but still the animation on it is outstandingly good. It's very good. It's got some of the music's a little bit weird, I have to say, but it is very good. It's very adult. I will say that the first episode does mention some adult themes, so do keep that in mind as well. But yeah, definitely check this one out if you're a fan of the Hellsing kind of storyline anyway. This is definitely up your street. So the next anime on this list kind of cover more of the iconic anime for this kind of season, ones that are always recommended, but they're always worth watching anyway. So the first one is called Parasite, and it's got 24 episodes, and the genre is body horror, thriller, and science fiction. This one, if you haven't watched this already, then it's one that's very, very, it's got a very cult following. It's very iconic for this kind of genre of anime. So, and I'll quote the synopsis. So it's one night, a tennis ball sized spheres containing snake-like creatures fell in numbers unknown all over the world. They are programmed to take the place of human brains. One of these attacks a young man, Shinichi, during his sleep, trying to enter through his ear but cannot reach him. Awakened with a shock as the parasite tries to enter through his nose, he tries to defend himself but ends up having his right hand punctured. The high school student then takes his headphones and wraps them around his arm, preventing the parasite from climbing to the brain. Unable to leave his arm, the parasite finally merges with his right hand. Meanwhile, other parasites, having managed to take possession of their host's brain, begin to feed on humans, while the creature and Shinichi are forced to cohabitate. This one is more, I won't say squeamish isn't quite right, but if you're not kind of not into, that's weird, isn't it? But if you're kind of squeamish around the body and seeing things become one with it, this isn't for you. But if you're kind of fine with that, then definitely check this one out. It's super iconic. I think this is one of those ones that's always worth a rewatch. It's only 24 episodes long. So this is one that kind of, it's a nice size to watch. And it's, because I believe it's only got one season. Definitely one to watch during the horror or kind of more scary side of the year for spooky season. Another classic for this season is Tokyo Ghoul, and this has 48 episodes and 2 OVAs, and it's a dark fantasy horror supernatural thriller. This one is one of my favourite ones, and it's one that is, I don't know, I think that you always see references of this one in other anime. So this one tells the story of Ken, who falls in love with a young woman called Rize. After meeting her, she bites his shoulder in a secluded alley and reveals that she is a ghoul, which shocks Ken, obviously. As Rize is about to eat Ken, several large metal poles fall on her from the construction site of a building, and Rize dies in the process while Ken is rushed to hospital with life-threatening injuries. After recovering, he is released from the hospital, and on the day of his release, he finds out that he is no longer only human. He looks in the mirror and shivers run down his spine because he now has one red eye. He realizes that Rize's organs were transplanted into him in the hospital. Since now he owns Rize's organs, he is now so-called and very rarely occurring half ghoul. This is a really iconic anime and one that, if you haven't watched it anyway, you should definitely check this one out. It's super worth to watch. It's very deep. It's very, very cool. Definitely check this one out. The next one is a newer addition to this list, and it's Zom 100, so bringing the zombie action. So this one has 12 episodes, with 9 being out at the minute of recording, and it's an action comedy. So this one is all about, and I quote, "In a trash-filled apartment, 24-year-old Akira watches a zombie movie filled with lifeless, envious eyes. After spending 3 hard years at an exploitative corporation in Japan, his spirit is broken. He can't even muster the courage to confess his feelings to a beautiful co-worker. Then one morning, he stumbles upon his landlord eating lunch, which happens to be another tenant. The whole city is swarming with zombies, and even though he's running for his life, Akira has never felt more alive." So this one has been great. It's had a lot of delays. There's a lot of issues with this one, but it's on an indefinite hiatus with the final episode. But it's a definite watch for this season. It's one of the newer anime for this year. It's so good. I was not big into zombies, but this one absolutely grabbed me. One of my favourite ones for this season, even with the delays. So definitely good. If you're into zombies, if you're not, definitely want to check out this spooky season. I feel like I spoke about that really quickly because I mentioned that one quite a few times, so apologies if that was really quick. But the next one is another firm favourite, but I won't speak about it too quickly. And this one is Toilet Bound Hanako-kan, and it's got 12 episodes, and its genre is supernatural. So this one is all about, and I quote, Kimono Academy is famous for its rumours regarding its 7 wonders and supernatural occurrences. Nene, a first-year high school student who loves Sickle and wishes for a boyfriend, summons a 7th and the most famous wonder, Hanako-kan of the toilet, the spirit of a boy who allegedly haunts the bathroom and can grant wishes for the right price. Upon summoning him, Nene discovers that Hanako-kan is nothing like the rumors say, and with the turn of events, she is spiritually bound to Hanako-kan and becomes his assistant, helping him destroy evil supernaturals and change rumors in order to maintain the balance between the spirit world and the human world. Along the way, Nene learns about her connection to the spirit world and the dark secrets regarding Hanako-kan and his past. So this anime returns in October, actually, with a second season based off of, I think it's a separate manga called After School Hanako-kan, and they've dubbed that the kind of restart for the series, and I cannot wait. This one has the same kind of vibe as Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun, but in a different kind of way, more pure ghosty vibe. Definitely want to check out. I absolutely love this series. It's so fun, and it's like comedy, but it's like the perfect mix of ghosts, supernatural, darkness, and comedy. Definitely one to add to your watch list this spooky season. Definitely. On a side note for this anime, I really hope that the second season is actually a second season and not just a remake of the first. I know they've called it a restart of the series for some reason. There was nothing wrong with the first one for me. It was absolutely perfect. So I really hope it's not just a retelling. If it is, I'm still going to watch it. I'm not going to lie. I will still watch it. But I'm really hoping there's different antics in there, different adventures, aside from just what we've seen. But it's good enough to watch twice anyway, even if it is just a retelling. So those are the anime that I'd recommend for this spooky season. This is essentially my watch list, I guess, for the spooky season this October. This is my favourite time of year, and it's the shortest holiday, but it's so cool. I love October. I love spooky season, and I love getting to really indulge on the spooky side of life, and my anime is no different when it comes to that. So let me know what you thought of this list. If you've got more to add to this list, let me know. Leave a review and let me know down there, or find me on social media and let me know what spooky season anime you'll be watching this spooky season. Or if you checked out some of these and you think they're great after listening to this, and you checked out Mirko-chan or whatever, let me know how you found it and what anime you're excited to watch after this podcast, I guess. Let me know. Find me online, leave a review, let me know. There's a whole world of spooky anime out there for us to enjoy, and I cannot wait to continue on with some of these series this season. Thank you so much for checking out this episode. If you're new to the podcast, thank you so much for checking this out. I really do appreciate every single listen, every follow, every download. It really does mean a lot. From one weeb to another, thank you so much. If you're wanting any anime merch, head over to my social media links. Find me on social media, find me on TikTok, Instagram, all that good stuff. And you'll see a link to my eBay shop where I have a bunch of anime themed prints for you to check out with worldwide shipping. Please do leave a rating and a review on the podcast platform that you're listening on this to. It really does support the show. It only takes a few seconds and it's free. I cannot ask. If I ask one thing of you, I'd ask that. Please do leave a rating and a review. Even if it's not great, please let me know. You know, it's even a bad one. Well, bad press is always... what's the saying? Any press is good press, I guess. Oh, that rhymed. So a rating and a review would be great. It really does support the show, so thank you so much for whatever kind of review you do leave. If you're a mega fan of anime, then why not check out my brand new Patreon monthly subscription club. There are 3 tiers of membership: Chibi Fan, Chibi Super Fan and Chibi Mega Fan, with each tier being better than the last. Each month, for one cost, you'll receive free prints, free downloads and much more, including exclusive behind the scenes videos, photos and more of how I create my prints and anime themed artwork. If you'd like to receive exclusive updates and anime themed goodies every single month delivered straight to you, then why not check out my Patreon? The link's down below. I'm sure you'll love being a part of the Chibi Weeb fan club. Sometimes finding a birthday card or an occasion card can be a boring task. However, I have some anime themed cards on my Thortful.co.uk creator profile, which is found in my links on social media. Over on Thortful, you'll find a bunch of anime themed cards such as Studio Ghibli happy birthday cards and more, with my range being updated regularly. Each card is processed by Thortful.co.uk, with shipping being fast, quick and efficient. You can shop my anime themed cards over on my Instagram, with my links being over on there. Just search Chibi Weeb Anime and you'll find me. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for checking out the podcast. It really does mean a lot. Please do leave a rating and a review down below. It really does support the show and it's free to do. I'll see you next time. I'll see you next Friday. Have a great weekend. If you're a subscriber or if you're thinking of subscribing or starting the free trial on Apple Podcasts, I'll see you on Sunday for the next episode of the Chibi Piece exclusive Apple Podcast exclusive episode on Sunday. Thanks guys. Bye bye.